Welcome to the Rise to Shine podcast with Noelle Custis, where we ignite the spark to discover your favorite self. It is time to get real, ladies. Hello. Welcome to the Rise to Shine podcast. I'm your host, Noelle Custis, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but here we are, season 2 of the Rise to Shine podcast. One whole year together. It's crazy to think about. And if you have been with me since the beginning, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You have heard my stories, you've heard the shifts and my lessons, and you've also been a part of something I wasn't even sure I was ready to share when I started. And if you're new here, welcome. You're walking in at the perfect time because today I am kicking off something deeply personal, something that's been feeling very sacred, something I've decided to call my glow up era. Now, spoiler alert, phase 1 has already begun. The hair has officially gotten its first glow up. So those of you that are on YouTube watching this, you will notice. And while the outside of me may be shifting, what's really happening on the inside is so much bigger. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to the woman I always was before. And I want this to resonate, hopefully, that I'm really returning to the woman I always was before the world told me who to be and I thought I was supposed to listen to. So, this is going to be the most vulnerable, honest, and transformational season that I have ever shared because, in actuality, this is my third becoming. There was a becoming after heartbreak many years ago when I was in my 40s-ish, then the becoming after retirement, and then now this one. The becoming where I rise fully into the woman I dreamed about at 40, maybe even 30, when I didn't have a roadmap and I only really just had a whole heck of a lot of hope. And it's when I started to feel something pulling me forward, and I had no idea where that was going to lead me. And I have a feeling I'm not alone in this. You might even be standing at the edge of something, right? Maybe you're sensing something is about to shift. And this season, this isn't just for me, it is for you. So I want you to take a deep breath with me. And let's walk boldly into the unknown together because this isn't going to just be my glow up era. This is going to be our glow up era. And we are just getting started. This one is going to be so special. And again, if you've been following along, you know I've been hinting that something big is coming. And while there are still a few things I can't quite share yet, and trust me, I cannot wait to let you in on the secrets, there are some pieces to the puzzle that I can share now. And what I can tell you is that this season, again, my glow up era is not just going to be a podcast theme. It's going to be an entire transformation. I am looking at it more as a reawakening. The journey is going to be about 16 weeks of becoming what I am walking through in real time. Now, of course, a transformation, a true transformation takes, a lifetime, really, quite honestly. But what I'm referring to is that in the next 16 weeks, as we roll through summer, I'm going to be able to drip out this transformation and some of the things that are happening. And by the end of those 16 weeks, now I may not fully be at an entire transformation because, again, I always look at life as a work in progress. However, you are going to be a part of this series where you are going to get to see it unfold in real time. So, I have put together a team. I have said yes to help. I've decided that I'm not waiting one more season of my life to feel like myself again. And it's all starting right now. But before we move into, what's next, I want to take a moment to just honor where I've been. I think that is so important for all of us because becoming her, this version of me, didn't just start this month. It started when everything kind of fell apart. My first becoming began the moment I walked away from what looked like a quote unquote complete life. It was the house, it was the marriage, all of the things. And then on Mother's Day, several years ago, it fell apart. And I chose freedom. And that was the first day that I said yes to me before I even really knew what that meant or what it was going to mean. And then came my second becoming, retiring from my 25-year teaching career as an educator, stepping away from literally the only life I had ever known as an adult. It was my identity. It was everything that I knew I wanted to be. And when I took that early retirement, I walked into the unknown of mentorship, entrepreneurship, and service in a whole new way. And now here we are, 3 years later. It's been 3 years. So I say this is my third becoming, but it feels really different because this time I am not trying to prove anything. I'm not just trying to survive. I'm not trying to reinvent. Hear me out. This is going to sound maybe a little strange, but I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember the woman who dreamed wildly, but I was always so quiet about it. The person that didn't have all of the answers, but I kept trusting the next right step. The one who knew deep down that I was made for more, even if it took longer. I've always known it, but I've just been more quiet about it, or maybe there were some confusions along the way. So I was trying to figure out what I was listening to, what I was leaning into. So if you're listening right now and feeling like you're in between versions of yourself, please, please hear this. You are not behind. You're not late. You're not lost. You're just in the middle of your own glow up era, too. And here's my hope, here's my prayer is that through this series, you're going to feel seen, you're going to feel inspired and reminded that it is never too late to rise into who you've always dreamed of. And we all have seasons. There are seasons where, we're rising boldly, where we're taking action and chasing dreams and saying the big yes. And then there are seasons where we have to pull back, not because we're lost, but because we need to do some healing, because we need to protect our peace. We need to nourish our body. We need to sit with our own soul. And I want to pause and really, really say this loud and clear. That kind of season is absolutely sacred too. If you're in a slower season right now, Maybe it's the one where you are resting. Maybe it's the one where you're retreating or even just literally surviving. I see you and I honor that. And please know that it is still part of your glow up. In fact, next week, I'm so excited. We've already recorded the episode. It's going to be a really deep dive into that exact space. And it's going to be with a guest that brings such wisdom and such softness. So stay tuned for that conversation because it's going to hold you in all of the right ways. I promise you. But today, I just want to take you behind the scenes into my moment, the one that cracked me open and said, okay, Noelle, it's time. So, a couple of months ago, I started working with my functional medicine practitioner again. I had been working with her. As a matter of fact, she's been on the podcast, Elizabeth. If you want to go back and listen to Elizabeth Scarcella, she is amazing. And wow, thank God I did. Because underneath the to-do lists and the outward smiles, I was starting to struggle. I was falling back into old habits. I was ignoring little things like sleep, fatigue, that gut feeling until they became big things. And my body was actually starting to literally scream at me. And I was doing that thing that a lot of us do. I was just pushing through. I was smiling anyway because what happened is I had healed so much. I had made huge strides in, for those of you that don't know, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. That is not my identity, but I was diagnosed with that. And I had been doing some major healing through that. My back pain, for those of you that don't know, go back and listen to some of the earlier podcasts. But I say after nearly 2 years of suffering for what I now jokingly call the Great Fall of 2022, I had finally started to see ease in that. But then I started to realize that healing isn't linear. It's super layered. Anybody feel me out there with that one? And even with the progress, I still wasn't feeling whole. So I hope that's making sense for you. I had done so much healing. I was starting to, be on this path that was feeling better, but I fell into some old habits again. My very close people started to call me out. I'm not going to lie. Noelle, you need to rest a little bit. Noelle, you need to take a breath. And then came this one session, this one powerful, extremely emotional session where Elizabeth and I didn't just talk about symptoms. We talked about my inner child. We went really deep and something shifted that day. I'm going to be sharing more about that soon in another episode because it was really profound. But that session started to plant a seed for me. And then here's what's so awesome. And this is what I love about life. This is what I love about when we are open, right? When we have the capacity to be open, is that just a couple of weeks later, I sat down with a woman whom I deeply admire. She is becoming a business partner. She feels like this soul sister right now. And we were talking about life and the opportunities ahead and everything that I'm building. And she looked at me and said something. She said, Noelle, you have these incredible doors opening for you. The last thing you should be worrying about is how you look and how you feel because you're going to have to show up bigger. Now, I want to preface this with she was not criticizing me. She was reminding me. And then she said something that literally changed everything. She said, that work that you've done on the inside, it's not matching how you're feeling on the outside. Now, not just how I looked, but also how I felt. And then here was the real kicker. She says, have you ever thought about a transformation just for you? Not for the brand, not for the show, not for the photos, just for you. And she said, not to be unrecognizable, but to feel like you're finally welcoming yourself home to a home that matches your heart, your soul, and your mind. I literally still get chills thinking about that moment because she nailed it without even realizing that that is exactly what I was feeling. She saw what I had been feeling, but I had not put it into words yet. I was just trying to figure out how to process it. And that's when I knew this is it. It's not going to just be a makeover. It's not just going to be a project. It is going to be a glow up era, a season of becoming more of who I have always been. It's going to be about aligning the inner with the outer, of stepping forward not to impress the world, but to meet myself at the level I know I'm ready for. And here's the thing, I want this for you too. This journey isn't just about hair and health and high vibes, although we're going to go there too. I keep reminding myself that it's about coming home. It's about coming home to your body, to your voice, to the version of you that's been whispering, it's time. So if you're listening and you feel that stirring in your soul, let it speak to you. It might not be time to sprint, okay? So I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, okay, run for it, go for it, do the hustle. No, I'm saying maybe it's just time to listen because you, my friend, are worthy of becoming. Not when you fix everything, but right now, right here, as you are. And here's the thing I want to make crystal clear. This journey, it is not going to be about perfection. It's not about getting it all right or doing it like everyone else. Please hear me in that. And I feel like I've been using this word alignment a lot lately, and I want to take a second just to really explain what that means to me. I feel like, it might be becoming a little bit of a buzzword in lots of different spaces right now. But alignment for me is when the woman I am on the inside, the woman that I've done the soul work to become, feels like she's finally showing up on the outside too. It's when how I move, how I speak, how I care for myself, that's a biggie, how I dress, how I walk into a room, how I show up in the photos, and even how I choose to take time to rest. All of it starts to match the love and the power that I carry from within. And that alignment, again, it's going to look different for everyone. For some, maybe it's just going to be a physical transformation. Maybe that is what you are desiring, and that would feel in alignment. Maybe for you, it's the boundaries. You need to set better boundaries for yourself, or maybe it is the rest. Maybe it's community, or here's another one. Maybe it's healing some childhood wounds. And it might look like you're showing up with confidence. It might be letting go of hustle. It might be honoring your nervous system. Because, ladies, I am going to tell you, I see that everywhere on social media and I hear it with my friends all of the time. our nervous systems are out of whack. So it might be going really deep. And maybe for some of you, you've been doing all the work, but you're like, I want to have a little makeover and I want to grab a new outfit that makes me feel like a boss. Or, you know what? I'm tired of being the boss and I want to say no to something that no longer aligns with who I'm becoming. There is no one way. That's the point. We're not walking the same path, but we are all trying to get to a place where we can look in the mirror and say, girl, you are beautiful from the inside out. How many of you can actually look in the mirror and say that to yourself without shame, without feeling uncomfortable? And again, not flawless, not filtered, but I mean, I'm talking like the whole you. And then let me just say this with all the compassion in the world. Whatever choices you make to feel better, whatever you make the choices to heal, to rise, to walk more boldly in your life, they are yours. There is no shame in wanting to feel good. We've had episodes that have talked about this. No shame wanting to feel good in your body, in your skin, in your presence, because we only get one life to live. We get one body to live in, one sacred space to carry our dreams, our purpose, our love. And the question is this, what do we want to do with that? What are the conversations we need to have with ourselves? What's the work we need to say yes to? What's the healing that still needs to happen? Not to make us perfect, but to make us free. Because the glow up era is not about proving anything to the world. It's about honoring who you are right now and making space for the woman that you're becoming, even when it feels scary, even when it feels messy. And this is about choosing to step forward anyway and letting that step be an act of radical self-love. Not just a little bit of self-love, but radical self-love. So if you're still with me right now, just know you have been witnessing something really sacred today. A beginning, a remembering, a realignment. This is about us as women, as moms, as dreamers, as warriors. It's about saying, I'm allowed to evolve. I'm allowed to want more. I'm allowed to feel good in my own skin, and I'm allowed to do it my way. And again, this journey is going to be layered. Some weeks are going to feel bold and bright. Others might be more quiet, more tender. But through it all, I promise you this. I am going to show up for you honestly. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to walk this path with you, not ahead of you. And the next week's episode is going to slow things down a little because, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be joined by a special guest to talk about the healing that happens in the stillness, how to honor your body and your season, even when things feel unclear or heavy. You are not going to want to miss this, I promise you. But for now, what I want to do is I want to leave you with something to reflect on. You may want to jot these two things down. You know how much I love action steps. This is where you grab your coffee, you grab your pen, your paper, or you go back and listen to this again. But I want to give you this journal prompt. And I want you to think about it, whether you decide to write it down or maybe you just think through it this week. What would it look like to feel fully at home in your body, your mind, and your soul? And what does alignment mean to you in this season of life? I want you to think about that. I want you to reflect on that. It means something, and there may be some big revelation in that. And then I also have an affirmation for you. And again, if you want to write this down, record it, whatever it is that feels good for you. And I want you to really embody this. I honor who I've been. I celebrate who I am, and I trust who I am becoming. This is my glow up era, and I am ready to rise. So, you guys, thank you so much for being here with me again. Season 2, here we go. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see and hear what happens in your glow up era. Let's walk together in this because there's nothing that gives me more joy than to walk alongside of you and to also help in any way that I can. So don't forget to share this episode with someone that you love. And subscribe if you haven't yet. That would mean the world to me. Come over and say hi on Instagram. I'm at joyful_Noelle. It's in the show notes. And let me know what resonated with you today. I absolutely love it. As a matter of fact, if you're following along in real time on my stories in my social media, either on Instagram or Facebook, you guys, what I have been receiving in the DMs, literally, since I did this first little hair thing, this just happened yesterday, going to be fully transparent. By the time you listen to it, it'll be a week later. But what I have been getting in the DMs is so fun. Women are sharing with me their new hair color, their new, haircuts. They're sharing with me, oh my gosh, I feel you. Like I just got rid of some blonde because it was aging me, or I chopped my hair because it finally felt like I needed to release. Like I am getting so many DMs, and I tell you what, it is like what brings such a huge smile to my face. So please know I am always available there. I would love, love, love to chat with you. So until next time, you guys, keep rising, keep shining, and remember the best day is right here waiting for you. All right, you guys, see you next week. And so excited. Thanks for joining me here today. Your presence means the world to me. If you enjoyed what you heard, please consider leaving a rating and review. And don't forget to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. Head to the show notes and let's connect. Rise to Shine Co. is ready to support you in coaching, collaboration, life tips, or even a coffee chat. Until next time, keep shining, my friends.